On this edition of Lakeville City Limits, we go out and about Lakeville to a place where you can get customized apparel. Next, I talk with Fire Chief Mike Meyer about the fire department and their upcoming open house. And finally, we take a look back at the first water tower in Lakeville. Hello, I'm City Administrator Steve Melke. Welcome to City Limits, Lakeville's public information program. Up first on today's show, we find out about the latest economic development happenings in the city.
I'm Adam Kienberger, Economic Development Specialist for the City of Lakeville, and welcome to another edition of Focus on Business. We're here today in front of a new McDonald's currently under construction near the intersection of County Road 46 and I-35 next to Brunswick Zone. Construction is expected to be completed later this fall. On September 1st, Mom Brands, formerly Multomeal, completed the relocation of their corporate headquarters from downtown Minneapolis to Lakeville. In 2012, Mom Brands acquired a second building in the Fairfield Business Campus located at County Road 70 and Kensington Boulevard and completed its renovation from a manufacturing and warehouse to a two-story office building and R&D facility. Mom Brands will now have a total of 163,000 square feet between their two buildings located on 22 acres. The relocation of the company's corporate headquarters brought an additional 100 jobs to the community and results in Mom Brands having a total of 350 employees in Lakeville. Performance automotive suspension manufacturer QA1 is constructing a 17,200 square foot addition to one of their two manufacturing buildings located in Air Lake Industrial Park by expanding the building located at Granada Avenue and 218th Street. This expansion will allow them to accommodate the rapidly growing business and continue to thrive here in Lakeville. Advance Auto Parts is currently constructing a 6,800 square foot auto parts store in the Hoppy Marketplace development, which is along County Road 50 between Culver's and NTB. The store is expected to open in December. Cosmopolitan Orthodontics is building a new medical clinic at the intersection of Cedar Avenue and Dodd Boulevard, just south of CVS and Bremer Bank. The 5,800 square foot dental clinic is currently completing the initial site work and will be under construction throughout the fall. Kingsley Shores is the latest senior living development currently under construction here in Lakeville. Construction is wrapping up on this 101-unit senior housing project located adjacent to the Chart House restaurant off of County Road 5 and Klamath Trail. Construction is expected to be completed later this fall. Boise Cascade, which has operated a building material distribution facility in Lakeville for more than a decade, recently closed on the purchase of the former C.H. Carpenter lumber property in Air Lake Industrial Park. The newly acquired building will provide the company with an additional 71,000 square feet of distribution facility space here in Lakeville. The city has issued building permits with a total valuation of just over $100 million through August. This compares to a total valuation of nearly $73 million through August of last year. The city issued commercial and industrial permits with a total valuation of $8.5 million through August, compared to a total valuation of nearly $9 million through the same period in 2012. The city has also issued permits for 247 single-family homes through August with a total valuation of nearly $78 million. This compares to 162 single-family home permits through August of last year with a total valuation of $47 million. Lakeville continues to be one of the fastest-growing cities in the Twin Cities. Now let's go check out a unique custom design and embroidery business at their new location in central Lakeville. Threads and Inks has moved to a new larger building at the intersection of Dodd Boulevard and County Road 50 across from Cub Foods next to McDonald's and Quick Trip.
Threads and Inks is a embroidery and screen printing company that we work with individuals, businesses, sports teams, churches to create custom garments. We take people's ideas or their business logos and apply them to their garment of choice. We also work with teams when they want their team wear. The tennis team, they might have a tennis ball bouncing across the back of a shirt, or swimmers might have a drop of water somewhere. I mean, businesses are pretty easy. Most are established and have a business logo, so we were able to take that and use their business logo and apply it to their garment of choice. We do have a larger retail facility now, so anything that is on the sales floor they can try on, take with, and purchase as is. They can also personalize the garments that are on the retail floor, so if they want a name added, or if they have a Lakeville South sweatshirt and they decide they want to add hockey sticks to it, we can do that. If they want to create a whole new sweatshirt, we can also do that, taking some elements of the designs that we already have on a current sweatshirt. And we are also expanding into other communities, so their spirit wear Rosemont, Eastview, Apple Valley, those people are calling us and wanting to come down to get garments from us as well. So we now have space to host their garments. We work with letter jackets, so the kids that have achieved a lettering status in any activity or academics can come and purchase a letter jacket along with additional patches, and we do everything in-house, so creating the patches and doing the sewing onto their jackets so their jackets never leave our facility. We have 3 embroidery machines. One is a 4-head, so that means it can do 4 products at a time, and 2 are single head, so that's individual designs, one at a time. So they're great for names, numbers, one-offs. If they have just one shirt that they need, we'll throw it on the single head, and we will do the appropriate artwork and get their garments ordered that they choose. When the garments come in, we will then stitch or print onto whatever those garments may be, and then as soon as they're done, they get called and they can come pick them up here. You know, it's really nice that we are able to have the capability of doing everything here, and we don't have to outsource to other facilities. Threads and Inks is your one-stop shop for printed apparel and embroidery. Whether it's your team, business, corporate wear, youth apparel, we are here to help service your needs.
If you would like more information on these projects or other Lakeville development news, visit the city's business website at lakevillebusiness.com.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Joining me today is Mike Meyer, Fire Chief for the City of Lakeville Fire Department. Mike, thanks for joining me on City Limits.
You're welcome.
Mike, let's talk a little bit about yourself first. You're the Fire Chief. You've been Fire Chief for about 3 years. Tell me your history with the fire department.
Actually, I joined Lakeville Fire Department in April of 1995, so a little over 18 years I've been with the fire department. Previous to that, I was in the military for 5 years, worked at a performance office papers in between the military and joining Lakeville Fire. In 1999, I joined Minneapolis Airport Fire as a full-time firefighter and worked there until August of being hired as the chief for Lakeville.
So tell me a little bit of the changes since 1995, a little bit about the fire department itself. How many firefighters do you have, those kinds of things?
Currently, we're at 81 firefighters. We're authorized to 90. So in 2004, when we added the 4th station, we added roughly 20 firefighters to that count to bring us to 90. So roughly each station has 20 firefighters assigned to it.
And you have 4 stations. How do you decide who goes to a fire?
It's all about where the call happens in the city and then who's the closest station or closest unit to respond to that. And then we modify that during the daytime, Monday through Friday, for when most of the firefighters are at their full-time jobs. So then usually we'll call out 2 stations depending on that call type. And
you mentioned 81 firefighters, but they're all paid on call. They just respond from their normal activities.
Correct, depending on if they're at their employer or they're at home. We have firefighters that work night shift, so during the daytime they're home with their kids or whatever's happening during their day.
What kind of a commitment does it take to be a firefighter for Lakeville?
When we first hire them, the first 2 years is a probationary period where we train them, get them their Firefighter 1, their Firefighter 2, hazmat ops, and their medical training. During that time and throughout their career, they have to maintain 30% of the calls that occur at their station, and they have to maintain 75% of the trainings in a 6-month period.
So since your time in joining the fire department, what's kind of changed about fire service?
Well, the shift in, we do more medical response than we do fire calls. So the call load, when we look at Lakeville Fire today, we respond to about 900 calls per year, and 75% of those calls roughly are medicals or EMS calls. Probably when I joined in 1995, we were looking at 500 to 600 calls per year.
And has the medical changed a lot from when you first started responding to medicals to what they are today?
With Alina coming in and being our transporter, our EMS agency in there, it's taken a little bit of the burden off of us as far as a fire, because they have rigs that are available a lot quicker than we had in the past. And so we're there more to provide support to Alina. If they're not on scene, then we'll take care of the patient care, but usually they'll be at the scene when we arrive, and then we just provide them support, whether it's helping load the patient. And for example, last night we ended up sending a firefighter with the ambulance to help provide that care as they transport the patient to Southdale.
What about training for the firefighters? Has that changed much?
The biggest thing that we see is training-wise is our trainings remain the same as far as the topics that we cover: fire, EMS, hazmat, car extrications. The biggest thing that we see is the increase of hours that are required of a firefighter. Some of the updates that just happened in 2013 is that we're looking at 192 hours is what's required of a firefighter to accomplish training in a year. And that's quite a demand on a firefighter when you're looking at a paid on call.
Yeah, I know I'm impressed, and as the council is, at the commitment of those firefighters and the commitment of their family to allowing them and helping them succeed as firefighters.
You touched on the family, and that's the biggest thing. If the family's not in support of the firefighter being part of Lakeville Fire, then we don't have the firefighter there. Generally, that's what we see for reasons, whether, if a firefighter has to leave the department, it's usually a personal job related that they're needed more at home than they can give to us as a fire department.
Mike, I know one of the things that's kind of a recent trend and something that you've been working on with the police department is some of this active shooter environments and things that have happened around the nation that I know you're preparing for as well.
Yep, and actually we're, I hate to say leading the charge, but we're at the forefront in Dakota County in our training that we've done, that we've joined forces with the PD and doing that training together. And it's the first time in my career with Lakeville Fire that we've actually come together as police and fire and done joint training just on, not necessarily the active shooter is one of the focuses, but it's a hostile event, whether it could be a bomb threat or something else that occurs, not only in a school, but in the work environment when we look at that.
There was recently a story in the paper, and you guys participated with the Lakeville School District on a training scenario. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit from the firefighter's perspective of what it means to have that experience with the school district.
Number one is just being involved in the training and teaching, being part of that instructions to the teacher of what we're looking for not only them to do, but to show them what we're doing as far as a public safety group coming into an event that happens at the school in this instance.
So that training at the school helped teachers understand the kinds of things that happen if you guys and the police department show up because of an incident. Talk a little bit about you help prepare homeowners for your services as a fire department and how they as a family can be prepared.
Okay, well as we know, October is coming upon us very quickly here, and that's Fire Prevention Month, and we have our open house in October 8th to be exact, on Tuesday evening. And that's where we invite our community, the citizens of Lakeville, to come to Station 4, and we'll talk to them about fire prevention, their smoke detectors, doing emergency escape plans with their family, with their kids, practicing those, CO alarms as far as their carbon monoxide that they should have in their house and where they should be located, and those things. We also provide, we're going to have a fire sprinkler trainer there to demonstrate what a sprinkler system can do, whether it's in a house or in a business. Usually we will bring in the SOT team to demonstrate the special operations team that we have within our county that does some of the technical rescues that we as a department can't do on our own. We bring other agencies. We'll do a car fire demonstration along with an auto extrication so that they can see how we operate as a department in those instances.
Sounds like a very busy night. If you're inclined as a family to come to that, is there anything that they need to bring? Is there anything they should be prepared for?
Weather, it's always hit or miss. Of some days some years we have very good weather and we usually get a very big turnout. Some years we have cold and rainy nights. We provide parking at Century Middle School. CSOs will be there to escort people across 185th Street. But people are more than welcome to come. Dakota Electric is usually there. There will be root beer and stuff like that for food from that we usually have this year I believe we have a Girl Scout troop that's coming in to provide that for us.
And what time is that event again?
We start at 6 o'clock and then it'll run until roughly 9 o'clock at night.
And if people wanted to have more information about this event, how might they get that?
They can go to our website, and we'll have the information up there. It's on the city website, but go to Lakeville Fire Department, and there'll be more information on there.
Well, Mike, on behalf of the community, thanks for your service as fire chief, and thanks to the firefighters as well for their service to the community.
Thanks for having me.
Did you know that you can donate items for an online auction to support the Heritage Center? New, used, vintage, or antique. Donate your items that are worth at least $20. Drop-off is on Saturday, October 5th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Old Public Works Building located at 7777 214th Street. The online auction will begin on October 14th at auctionmasters.com. Join the fun by donating your items and get ready to bid to support the Heritage Center, a place for seniors, veterans, and history. For more information, visit the city's website.
The curtain is going up for this year's season at the Lakeville Area Performing Arts Center. And this year, there's something for everyone. From a wide array of musical stylings to holiday seasonal performances, the Lakeville Area Arts Center offers the finest in regional entertainment. New this season, reserve seating for all performances. To find program descriptions and buy tickets online, visit our new website at www.lakevilleareaartscenter.com.
It was fun. It was watching it go, constructing it and getting up there and everything, and it was going up quite a ways. It was 130 feet, you know, and to get that up there, and it was something, a lot of fun to watch it. And then after they got it all made up and across the street from there was the elevator, where they used to have a lot of grain and bring it caught in there, and that was a pretty high building. So they would check the water tower to see if they could shoot the water over the top of that grain tower. And they did, though. Yeah. You could see that wherever it came from. If you come down from the north here, coming down the hill there by the All Saints Church now, and that tower stood right up like a big thumb, you know. And that was the main thing you could see.
Okay, the water tower is built in the mid-20s. It was just a 60,000 gallon tank, really small compared to what our tanks are today. Our next smallest tank that we have right now is actually 500,000 gallon tank, and that's in the Air Lake Industrial Park. Our biggest one right now is a 2 million gallon tank, and that's up in the Dakota Heights area. We're having a new one built. It's on Cedar Avenue and Dodd. And that'll be a 1.5 million gallon tank, just to give you an idea how small this tank actually was. The old water tower down in Howland and 208th Street was decommissioned in 1982. Some old facts about the water tower I learned from my predecessor, Dick Norling. He told me about actually grease being used on the inside of the water tower instead of, our towers now are all painted on the inside, but in them days, to protect the steel on the inside, it was just grease was used. They actually went inside and rubbed grease on the metal by hand about every 8 to 10 years just to save the metal inside the tank. Some other uses for the water tower at the time too, in the building underneath the water tower, they actually had in the basement a bath where it was open to the public. People would come in, take a bath, and they were actually paid the city. The city collected funds for taking a bath down in the basement of the well house located right underneath the water tower. Another use for the building underneath the water tower is the grain company, the grain elevator, which is right next door. It was just right across 208th Street. They shared the office with the utility department of the city. Part of it was used by them, and of course part of the building too was actually the pump house where the well sat. So the water tower was decommissioned in 1982. That time the city had decided, being that rehab was due, maybe some painting and so forth was due at the water tower at that time, they decided it was best off, because it was so small, 60,000 gallons, that it just outlived its usefulness. So it was decided that the best thing to do would be to tear it down. Some of the metal was used for scrap, of course, and at the time we had planned on using some of the long legs, using them for actually for bridges, possibly in maybe some of the park departments to utilize some of the old metal there. I'm not sure if that was ever done. I remember the legs laying around for quite a long time, and I think maybe they've been scrapped out since. So.
We documented the dismantlement of the downtown Lakeville water tower. John Isle described how he took the water tower apart piece by piece.
Had to start a company that you could start at the top when you first started. This company, you got to start at the top. What you do is you get your torches, oxygen, and LP, get your safety equipment on, head to the top, and the first thing you do is crawl way to the top and cut the ball off it. Start on the roof, whittle the roof away, and cave the ball. Is a big cast iron ball. It's about an inch thick, weighs a couple 100 pounds. So you don't want to be wrestling with it. So you cut the roof away around it, cave the ball in, just let her drop inside the tank, and then keep working, just whittling away, just bite-sized pieces, whatever you feel you can carry, just cut them off that big. If you cut them too big, you're going to regret it later. So just keep caving the roof in. When you get down to the edge of it, you have to walk on these bars. It's like a big wagon wheel on the top there, the spokes going out, that keeps the top of the tank round. So the little half-inch rods going into the center, so you can keep your safety line on, but you can kind of tippy-toe around up there on them bars and cut the roof pieces in. When you get to the edge, you've got like a portable scaffolding that goes around. So you end up standing on the outside, cutting the steel loose and pushing it inward. What's left up there then is a bowl. There's no sides in the tank. Got a whole bowl full of plates. To get those out, you crawl into the bowl, cut a hole in the bottom of it, and then start picking these pieces up and dropping them down. Let gravity do the rest. To get the legs down, it's pretty much like cutting trees. You can steer them a little bit. You got a big center pipe concrete in the middle like we have here. You want to try and avoid that concrete. If you end up dropping a couple 1,000-pound chunk iron on it from that height, you can get a lot of debris flying. So you can steer somewhat these beams out of the way so when they come crashing in, they don't bash into the concrete.
It is not easy.
Yeah,
this is his 16th tank, I think.
Yeah, it's about number 15 or 16. So you get little procedures. The first one I did was my brother and I did it. It took us a month and a half. The fastest one I ever did was about 2 weeks. This will be pretty close to that. Got pretty good weather when I'm working on it. I've given up trying to work on rainy days. And it's going pretty smooth now. It's been my 4th year now, and it's like this job now is going very easy. It's no real surprises to it. But you learn, sometimes I've learned the hard way in terms of how to get things down. You got to know what you're doing.
Now it's time for the answer to today's trivia question, which is, approximately how many acres of public parks and open space are in the city? If you guessed D, 1,400 acres, you would be correct. The Parks and Recreation Department maintains a total of 62 public properties, including neighborhood and community parks, and over 100 miles of trails. Fall is a great time to check out Ritter Farm Park, which has several miles of hiking trails for you to explore. For more information on Lakeville's Parks and Recreation Department, visit the city's website. Here is a look at some of the road construction happening in the city. The intersection of Dodd Boulevard and Highview Avenue is almost completed. Expect the intersection to open any day if it's not already open by now. Be patient and courteous as drivers learn how to navigate the new double-lane roundabout. Many of the streets in the Valley Park and Clay's Acres neighborhoods are undergoing reconstruction. Drive safely in work areas. Along with new streets, there are stormwater and utility improvements taking place. Expect these projects to be completed sometime in the fall. Here is a look at some of the upcoming public meetings that you can attend at City Hall. The City Council will be meeting on Monday, October 7th at 7 p.m. The Arts Center Board will be meeting on Thursday, October 10th at 3:30 p.m. The Finance Committee will be meeting on Thursday, October 10th at 7 p.m. and the Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Committee will be meeting on Wednesday, October 16th at 6 p.m. For more information on government meetings and the role of our boards and commissions, visit the city website at www.lakevillemn.gov. That's it for this edition of Lakeville City Limits. Thanks for watching. If you experience a problem with your cable TV service here in Lakeville, you should first contact Charter Communications at 1-800-581-0081. If you do not receive a satisfactory response, you can call the city at 985-4407 and we will assist you in resolving your problem. And just a reminder, you can see all of our programming online on the city website at www.lakevillemn.gov. Thanks again for watching this program and all of the programming here on LG TV.